This celebration, of course, is in honor of the great class of 2020. We look forward to honoring their accomplishment today. My name is Chris Scully. I'm the headmaster of Braintree High School. And as everyone knows, this year's ceremony will be unlike any other in the history of this institution. While many aspects will vary from tradition, we did want to begin with a nod to one of the oldest graduation traditions around by playing Edward Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance. So, in a moment, I'm going to ask everybody to rise in body, art, and spirit for the playing of this traditional processional march. Remain standing through the march, and then please remain standing as we play the Braintree High School Band's remote performance of the national anthem. This time, please rise for Pomp and Circumstance. As I mentioned, this year's ceremony will be different than any other in the long history of Braintree High School. Before we begin, I want to thank Mayor Kokoris, the members of the school committee, Superintendent Hackett, Assistant Superintendent Lee, all the members of the central office, the Board of Health and Director Mary Beth McGrath, and the Braintree Police Department and Chief Du Bois for working with the BHS administration to ensure that this evening's ceremony can be held safely and in accordance with state and local public health guidelines. With that in mind, I also want to take this moment to thank everyone, graduates, staff, and guests, for observing the social distancing measures that have been put in place for this event. Guests are thanked for sitting in designated areas of the bleachers. Everyone is thanked for remaining masked throughout the ceremony, and I appreciate the graduates and staff's participation in our contact-free diploma distribution process, which I will explain a little bit later. As an additional safety measure to ensure physical distancing, at the end of the presentation of diplomas, the graduates will recess out of the south end of the stadium, past the concession stand, and into the parking lot where they may rejoin their guests. We ask all guests to remain seated during this recessional until all graduates have left the stadium, and then exit to the parking lot to meet their graduates. At that time, all participants in tonight's ceremony are respectfully asked to depart the campus. To start our program, please welcome to the microphone the president of the class of 2020, Sabrina Carnes, for a formal welcome.
All right, let's try this again. I would like to start off by thanking you all for being here. I think someone saw that Braintree High was breaking ground on the ice rink, and they were like, oh no, this can't happen. send in the corona. As seniors, this current pandemic has given us a strange opportunity to look back at our high school careers with nostalgia before our final days were even played out. As I've looked back these past few months, I found myself missing both parts of my high school career I assumed I would miss and other parts that surprised me. One thing I will never forget about high school is the time I spent just relaxing with my friends and classmates. For instance, I miss sitting in the caf, first block, eating my cheesy bagel, and watching the last few stragglers voyaging into the school. Now, I've also been on the other side of that cafeteria window, and I can confidently say that I don't miss running into the school at 8:01 with a live audience watching me from the caf. Another thing that I think we all miss is sitting in the stands during football games, listening to the band and talking with our friends. I must admit that although I loved going to the games, I never knew what was happening during the games. I mean, I'm sure you players were doing what you were supposed to do, but the game honestly could have switched to Quidditch halfway through, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. At Braintree High School, we could catch a live performance in the morning in the form of an assembly and eat lunch at 11:05. I don't know if that makes it more like a cruise or a nursing home, but I love it either way. I must admit that sitting in the bleachers during those assemblies for an hour in skinny jeans isn't the move. By the end, I always felt like the jeans were just a new layer of skin I would have to shed off next winter. But I love those assemblies because they were a rare opportunity for our whole grade to sit together, united, all in one room. At Braintree High School, we were not only united in location, but also in a common mindset. For me, it was studying. For others, it was staying up late, practicing their sports, or instruments, or running through their lines, or working, or getting ready for their next club meeting, or caring for their siblings. Regardless of what you were doing, we all stayed up until the wee hours in the morning at one time or another. This sleep deprivation, although torturous, is proof that as Braintree High students, we were taught to challenge ourselves and to work hard. Two characteristics that I know will help us succeed in the future. The Braintree High faculty also worked hard to ensure our future success. I truly don't think anyone else could care more about their students than the Braintree High faculty. At this time, I would like to thank our class advisors, Ms. Lobby and Mr. Whitland, for working hard in helping us make our high school careers so memorable. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Scully. I was in a meeting once with Dr. Scully where he talked about where to place a sign that says hi in many languages so that every student could see it when they walked into the school. Dr. Scully did this because he's a man who cares a lot about his school and is willing to take the time and effort to think of the small details that will make a big difference in students' lives. The housemasters also understand that small things go a big way. For instance, our housemasters let us have a tailgate before one of the football games, which was a great way to bring our class together and to show our spirit. I believe that you only miss things worth missing, and that is why I miss Braintree High School and all the memories we made together. I would like to stop here and thank my parents and all the other guardians for helping us get to this point. Also, thank you all for being such great classmates these past 4 years. And I look forward to seeing all the things we will accomplish in the many years to come. Congratulations, everybody. We did it.
Thank you, Sabrina. And now, Caitlin O'Rourke, the BHS Student Body President, will deliver a message for her classmates and our guests.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We have made it. 4 years full of so much laughter and many tears, finally coming to an end. A quite hectic end, but we're still here getting a somewhat normal graduation, which is what we have been waiting for these past 12 years. With the help of faculty and families, we have still been able to celebrate all of our achievements that we have made, and I want to thank them all for that. We have spent the last 4 years together, within those concrete walls, walking through the musty hallways, sitting in worn-down desks, or at grimy lunch tables day after day, never knowing how much we were going to miss it until it was abruptly taken away. We saw each other every day, both learning and growing together. Many hours have spent here at BHS, waking up each morning early, hopefully leaving enough time to get that iced coffee or time to sit in the car to talk to your friends before school. Spending 7 hours each day passing each other in the halls or sitting near one another through those long classes that never seemed to end. After that, headed straight to sports or clubs, along with all the dances or different school events and fundraisers. With all the time we have spent here, BHS has shaped us into the people we are today. We, the class of 2020, have also given BHS a run for its money. We have made history, not just because how our school year ended, but with what we did with those few months that we were in school and what we managed to do when we no longer were. Making new traditions like Music Monday or hearing Colleen's voice every Friday morning, having the first ever Pride Pep Rally, or overall just fighting for what we believed in. We stood up for ourselves, just like we had been taught to do so, along with having the most petitions made in 1 year at BHS. We had our dreams in mind, and we were not settling for anything less, which is how, even after all we have been through, we still are being celebrated. We still were able to be awarded our different academic and sports awards, given scholarships, watched our senior video together, and somehow managed to get 2 graduation celebrations. We stayed as one BHS class of 2020. Within these 4 years here, many accomplishments have been made that we have been able to acknowledge and celebrate. We have people who have been named captains of sport teams or leaders of clubs, becoming a role model for the grades below. We have NHS members and those who have made honor roll, showing their educational excellence. Some are even enlisting, committed for sports, or even just furthering their education some more, headed out into the world to do some great things. The biggest accomplishment of them all is graduating, knowing that all the time and hard work you have put in mattered, even when you didn't think it would. We could not have done any of those things if it weren't for the people around you or the school that shaped who you are forever. Memories were made here, memories that we will cherish and hold, that we will look back on later in life and that we will dream of reliving. These are the memories that are filled with each other, the people you have spent 4 years of your life with. Years from now, we may not remember everyone's face or their stories, but these people around you, they have seen you at your best, they have seen you at your worst. They are your family. No matter where the world may take us, and no matter the separate paths we choose to follow, one thing will stay true. The thing we have heard these past 4 years, but has meant so much more today and every day going forward. We are, and we will always be, a BHS class of 2020.
Thank you, Caitlin. At this time, I would like to briefly acknowledge some of the many people who have helped contribute to the success of the class of 2020 and have helped to make this year's multiple graduation celebrations possible. Thank you to American Chorus, the members of the school committee, and the Braintree Public School Central Administrators, Superintendent Dr. Frank Hackett, Assistant Superintendent Jim Lee, and Director of Finance and Operations Ed Cronin for their leadership and their vision, and for making all of these spring's events possible. Thank you as well to the members of the Town Council, the Braintree Fire Department, and the Braintree Police Department, which has been instrumental in the planning of both our parade-style graduation and our in-person graduation. Our 3 house masters, Andy Dullery, Nancy Moynihan, and Matt Reardon, have worked tirelessly on this spring's events, but more importantly, have ably managed the education of the graduates that you see before you. The Braintree Public Schools curriculum directors and the BHS guidance staff have led our students throughout their high school journey. Head custodian Tom Mahar, the entire BHS custodial staff, the Braintree Public Schools maintenance staff, Nelson Chin and the Braintree Parks and Recreation staff, Andrew Marin of the BPS Technology Department, and everyone at BCAM have contributed their talents to multiple aspects of this year's graduations. And a special thank you to Administrative Assistant Kathy Finnery and Housemaster Nancy Moynihan, who every year plan and coordinate all aspects of graduation. This year they get to do it twice. And it's not an exaggeration to say that neither event would have been possible without their efforts. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the Braintree High School faculty and staff for the incredible work they did over the past 4 years in preparing their students for this memorable day, work that continues with the efforts of the BPS educators who worked with these students prior to high school. In particular, I would like to recognize Katie Lobby and Zach Ritland, the senior class advisors, for the dedication that they have shown to the class of 2020 during this unprecedented spring. To all of these people and to those that I may have overlooked who have contributed to this ceremony and to these students' success, thank you. And at this time, please welcome to the stage the class of 2020's Salutatorian, Ariana Carnes.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ariana Carnes, but I also answer to the name Sabrina when convenient. For those of you who tuned into the online ceremony and listened to my speech then, this one is going to sound oddly familiar. Kind of like if the stadium is asking for an encore and Vanilla Ice doesn't know what to do because he's a one-hit wonder, so he would just sing Ice Ice Baby again, but at a slightly different beat. As we close this chapter of our lives, and then open it back up, and then now close it again, and many of us prepare to log into a new online school, I'd like to take this time to reflect. Everybody sitting here can look back on high school and remember it completely differently, for every experience is unique. Well, besides mine and Sabrina's, those were virtually the same. This diversity in experiences is what makes Braintree High School so special. We have students who are musically inclined, artistically gifted, academically advanced, and athletically skilled, like myself, who scored a whopping 4 points all basketball season, and, lest we forget, won the BYB championship in 2016. Shout out to Coach Wishart. This diversity was brought together to form the class of 2020, and every student brought their myriad of talents and personalities to school each day, which made the school a lot of fun. The Braintree High staff did a great job keeping this fun school from getting out of hand, while also giving us the space to make our own memories. Being student council vice president, I've seen firsthand how dedicated and ready to help everyone at BHS is. Teachers, guidance counselors, housemasters, and of course, Dr. Scully have willingly sacrificed their time to chaperone all of our class events, and even to attend the graduation ceremony in the middle of the summer. They buy everything we sell, from Christmas ornaments to chocolate bars, that we of course only sell after the bell rings at 2:05 and not in the middle of class. The dedication the staff has is seen right when you enter the main entrance at BHS and walk past the security booth, where there are always smiling faces, and is demonstrated throughout the school, where custodians can be seen all day, every day, cleaning and fixing everything in sight. Based on how my bedroom floor looks like at the end of me finally deciding on which outfit to wear, I cannot imagine how hard it is to keep up with nearly 1,750 of me walking around dropping papers, pens, and wrappers at a rapid rate. Each morning when Alex and Sophia, also known as the voices of BHS, told us about the weekly accomplishments of the school, we got to see the diversity of the school at its finest. They reported on everything, from math team victories to upcoming football games. All of these accomplishments that were announced each morning are the result of the hard work students at BHS put in during and after school hours. Walking through Braintree High after 2:05 is like watching a live taping of America's Got Talent. Well, minus the celebrity judges and a chance to win $1 million. You can hear singing coming from the auditorium, track athletes are running the halls, and the dance team is starting one of their 12-hour practices in the gym. This rich diversity that's seen every day at BHS will definitely continue into our futures. We have students who are ready to and have already gone on to serve our country in the military. Thank you to them. Students who are bringing their artistic talents to a school of the arts, others who are ready to take their sports to the next level in the college league, and others who are joining the workforce. Despite all of our diverse interests, Braintree High School is a united community. Unity is seen in the annual pep rally and this year during the first annual BHS School Pride Rally. During these events, all of the different clubs, sports teams, and musical groups in the school gather together to celebrate Braintree High as a whole. Unity is also seen Fridays in the fall when we all packed the Braintree High bleachers to watch the football games, hear the band play, and see the dance and cheer teams perform. Braintree Unity even continues past the high school, and we have been able to see that firsthand as all different members of the community have worked hard to give us a different yet special end to our atypical senior year. I am excited to see where all of your different paths are going to lead you, but no matter where we all end up, we will always be connected as proud Braintree High graduates.
Thank you, Ariana. And now our final student speaker on the program this evening, the class of 2020's valedictorian, Phoebe Rust.
Good evening. My name is Phoebe Rust, and thank you for coming to part 2 of our graduation. Even though reciting this speech in front of a crowd is a lot harder than it was to a camera. I've enjoyed getting to know so many of you from the classroom, clubs, fields, and courts throughout our 3 3/4 years together. Thank you to all of the teachers, administrators, and parents who have supported us on our journey. I would also like to thank my classmates, without whom I would not be here today. You know who you are. I'd like to begin with these wise words from Helen Keller that are particularly relevant today. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Even as we are forced to be apart, our community has remained united and supportive of one another as we all try to get through the chaos that is the year 2020. Let's face it, this pandemic has ruined a lot for us. Events we've been looking forward to our whole lives have suddenly been taken away. But our class didn't sit back and let a virus tell us what to do. We stood up for ourselves. When administration was making graduation plans, Dr. Scully received dozens of student emails expressing our desire to be together for some semblance of a graduation ceremony. Although some of those emails were more strongly worded than others, every effort counted to make the point that the class of 2020 wasn't about to let someone else make any decisions without receiving our input first. And look where it got us. We now get to tell our kids that we got not one graduation ceremony, but 2. Beat that. During this time, we continued to support each other as we always do. We celebrated each other's future plans by posting them on the class Instagram so that no one's accomplishments went unnoticed, even if we didn't get to parade through the halls in our Spirit Week attire. We managed to find socially distant ways to be together, well, other than Senior Week. Cars were parked in circles every day, 6 feet apart. Friends baked each other food, and our community rallied around us with Adopt a Senior. I want to say thank you to all of the adoptive parents out there. Even if the buckets of candy you gave us didn't exactly help with the dreaded quarantine 15. But these examples of our great solidarity didn't begin when the pandemic did. We've been doing it throughout our time here. Our student body started Music Mondays and Friendly Fridays to bring us together as a community and remind us that there's more to school than just sitting through painfully long classes. Our class even liked to break a certain disciplinary rule together. That's true unity right there. We also established the tradition of the Pride Pep Rally, where I finally learned what the Pride acronym stands for. What I know for sure is that D is for diversity, and our nation could do well to remember that diversity is what sets us apart from every other place in the world. It is deplorable that members of our beloved country are still denied the rights they should have been granted hundreds of years ago. In this era of change, we must unite to stand up for those most in need of our help, and it is up to our generation to be the catalyst for lasting change. Class of 2020, we got robbed. We missed out on so many things. Senior Week, prom, the countdown on our last day, senior nights, and making memories in general. But our stories don't end here. They start. Inside that cement block, you became your own person. You learned how to treat one another with respect, how to make connections, and most importantly, how to solve the quadratic equation. Now it's 2020 can really do. So let me leave you with this. We don't choose the times we live in. The times choose us. So let's choose to make a difference. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Phoebe, for those thoughts. At this time, I would like to recognize some members of the class of 2020 for certain impressive and noteworthy accomplishments. Please hold your applause until all members of each group have been recognized. The following seniors maintained perfect attendance during all 4 years in high school, and I ask those who are participating in this evening's ceremony to please stand and be recognized. John Magnano, Rachel Carver, Jimmy Chen, Cameron DiCarlo, Adam Gronendijk, Catherine Nguyen, Vivian Nguyen, Janice McCulfong, Melissa Selesky, Crystal Zhang. Members of the class of 2020 will be entering the military after graduation. Some of those have already reported, but I ask those who are here tonight to stand so we may honor and thank them for their service to our country. These students are Thomas Clapp, Army, Brandon Froyo, Marine Corps, Shane Gurley, Marine Corps, Luke Kleffer, Coast Guard, Anthony Lara, Marine Corps, Alan Liang, Marine Corps, Vincent Mealy, Army ROTC, Sean O'Riordan, Army National Guard, Jonathan Sawyer, Army National Guard, Arthur Tempesta, Air Force, Michael Tierney, Navy. Thank you all. Certain members of the class of 2020 have earned the distinction of being named class scholars. This designation signifies that their cumulative academic performance has placed them in the top 5% of their class. The following students should stand as their names are called: Caitlin Arsenault, Thomas Barty, Caitlin Brattain, Ariana Carnes, Sabrina Carnes, Brianna Chaparro-Bay, Olivia Corbo, Samantha DePaulo, Elizabeth Foley, Henry Huang, Nicole Knaber, Allison Nell, Karina Lamb, Isabella Lambros, Samantha Lee, Trevor McDonald, Mairead Morahan, Kristen Eng, Margaret Richards, Stephanie Rongoni, Phoebe Rust, Ivy Stanton. And as we acknowledge the academic talents of this class, I would also like to recognize those students who have received all A's and B's through 16 marking terms over the course of their entire career at BHS. The following students should stand and be recognized: Caitlin Arsenault, Ariana Carnes, Sabrina Carnes, Brianna Chaparro-Bay, Olivia Corbo, Samantha DePaulo, Cameron DiCarlo, Samantha Donovan, Avery Hannigan, Karina Lamb, Isabella Lambros, Samantha Lee, Frank Mahoney, Dmitry Marjanovic, Brian McCormick, Kristen Eng, Vivian Nguyen, Jessica Risha, Margaret Richards, Stephanie Rongoni, Phoebe Rust, Alan Sun, Michelle Young, Oliver Zaba, and Crystal Zhang. Congratulations. Before we conclude this portion of the graduation and begin the reading of the names, I wanted to share just a few words with this year's graduating seniors. In doing so, I realize that I have already had ample opportunity to speak with you remotely during this past spring, and that I already had an opportunity to address you as a class during the recorded portion of graduation back in June. And if you missed it then, I wouldn't feel the need to go back and watch it now. You've already heard the best part of the recorded ceremony, which which was the thoughtful speeches delivered this evening by your eloquent student speakers. Instead, I wanted to leave you with two brief thoughts. First, I want to share with you how I felt and how I know your housemasters and your teachers felt when we saw so many of you at the parade-style graduation on June 13th. Seeing you as you waved from passenger seats or stood half out of sunroofs or poked your heads above massive replica graduation caps, or in one case, sat in a chair in the back of a pickup, Beverly Hillbilly style, reminded me of the many ways, large and small, that you have made my own experience at Braintree High School better. Seeing you reminded me of the times that you explained what you were doing in a science lab, or when you came by my office for a mock interview for public speaking class, or for a real interview for Mr. Nellis's class. I was reminded of when you let me take the baton and had to suffer through my conducting and through the housemaster's percussion playing. The times that you came by the stands to say hello before a big game, or the times that you received praise humbly after an incredible performance. Even more than these times, I was reminded of the many small interactions in the hallway, outside my office, outside the housemaster's offices, in the cafeteria, when so many of you revealed your determination, your desire to achieve, your friendliness. I was even reminded of difficult conversations that we might have had when things weren't going according to your plan or according to your teacher's plan, and in some cases, reminded of the heartfelt emails that you would send to me, which I think Phoebe mentioned. The point is, you've demonstrated to me over the past 2 years during extraordinarily trying times that you are truly a special group of young adults, and I believe that you will be stronger and more resilient due to these times. Even if each of your names hadn't been painstakingly inscribed by Ms. Hurley on the board across the hall from my office, there would honestly be no way I or any of your teachers could ever forget your class. And none of us would want to anyway, because my second point is, we need you. We need all of you who are here. We need your classmates who are not in attendance tonight, because the last year has made it clear that we have real challenges facing us as a nation. Between a public health crisis, economic tumult, and a welcome but painful recognition that this has to be the moment where we finally address long overdue issues of racial injustice, there is plenty of work to go around. We want you to be a part of that work. Frankly, we all need you to be a part of that work. A big part of what makes this country great is our inherent expectation that things can get better, that things can change, that conditions can improve, but this only happens if people of goodwill make that change happen. So I urge you to use the academic skills that you have learned here at BHS, to use the sense of responsibility that your parents first taught you and that this school hopefully has enhanced. And keep in mind that the world needs your attention. None of us are obligated to solve all these problems completely, but neither are we free to ignore them. What you do doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to involve giving speeches, and at this point, it might even be better if it doesn't involve posting about it. But please remember that you, the Braintree High School class of 2020, possess the knowledge and skills to make this nation better for everyone. You are an incredible class with an incredible story, and on behalf of all of your teachers and administrators, I would like to congratulate you in advance for all your future successes. Great job, class of 2020. Okay, at this time, we will begin the presentation of the class of 2020. As everyone knows, this ceremony is very different from traditional graduations. For one, neither the graduates nor the teachers and administrators taking part have had a chance to rehearse in any way. And this is usually a major aspect of every spring. Schools, high schools, like to rehearse graduations because it's our one chance to prove to the community that we have done a great job teaching everybody how to sit, stand, and walk in a straight line. So we missed those graduations, but instead everyone here will be going through this process for the very first time. So I apologize in advance for any errors in traffic patterns, and I apologize sincerely in advance for any names that I may mispronounce. In a moment, all the graduates will be directed by their faculty chaperones to rise one row at a time and one section at a time and exit their row to their left. They will then approach the stage nearest the ramp to my right, taking care to remain socially distanced as evidenced by the cones on the field. When each graduate walks up the ramp, they will leave their name card on the table next to the podium, stand at the top of the ramp, and wait for me to read their name aloud. At that point, they will cross the stage, receive a diploma holder in a contact-free manner at the table to my left, walk down the far ramp, pause quickly for a photograph, and yes, and answer a few questions. You may take your mask off for your photograph, and then at that point, return to their seat. Those graduates who are receiving their actual diploma tonight should pick them up at the table located directly at the back of the seats on the track. At the end of reading all the names, the class president will return to the stage, lead the graduates in the traditional moving of the tassels, and at that point, chaperones and faculty members will direct the graduates as they recess row by row out the south end of the stadium, continuing past the concession stand, and then turning right into the parking lot where they may rejoin their guests. As I mentioned, we ask that all guests remain seated while the graduates recess, and we respectfully request that everyone depart the campus as soon as tonight's ceremony has ended. Let's get started. Go, Jesse. Phoebe Marie Rust. Ariana Grace Carnes. Sabrina Mary Carnes. Caitlin Bell O'Rourke. Meredith Susan Wishart. Elizabeth Ann Foley. Jessica Joseph Risha. Colleen Mary O'Riordan. Bridget Anastasia Magnano. Vincent Aniello Mealy. Adam Bergstead Gronendijk. Liam Francis Walsh. Ryan Atticus Langell. Nicholas Carson Ockman. Derek Dewey Dow. Anthony David Fasano. Joel Diote. Matthew Robert Stark. Nicholas Philip Yukich. Mir Montakim. James Michael Daly. Joseph Ryan Good. Joseph Daniel Bythrow. Justin Michael McKean. Shalyn Annis James. Egman Yalisinskaya. Jacob Timothy Schindler. Rose Marble Cuthbert. Thomas Patrick Quirk. Matthew John Barry. Aiden Gerard Daly. Darren Jonathan Damon. Ingrid Avora Barbosa. Grace Michelle Perez. Catherine Elizabeth Costello. Ivalo Atanasov Mihalev. Shannon Donahue Dedalonis. Madeline Rose Whalen. Caitlin Ann Carrara. Mairead Teresa Morahan. Lauren Elizabeth Bellotti. Amber Rose Medeiros. Ryan Shaw McCormick. Brooke Kathleen Thompson. Jordan Lydia Gleason. Paige Susanna Harrison. Colin William Anderson. Isabella Grace Lambros. Charles Anthony Lewis. Tiffany Lauren Beal. Colin O'Rourke Doherty. David Floyd Layton Jr. Rebecca Lauren Duong. Dora Eng Wu. Bradford Dolan Rizzo. Alex James Jaworski. Sean Thomas Hester. Bethany Dawn Mayotte. Molly Ann Cora Lyons. Ryan Francis Baggett. Andrew Joseph Alessi. Molly Catherine Flanders. Elizabeth Mary Connolly. Allison Rose DeCoste. Adam Jacob Julian. Dean Robert Doherty. Patrick Cullen Myron. Timothy David Mishler. Matthew Joseph O'Brien. Megan Elizabeth Duffy. Madison Ford Bradley. Sophia Hope Delgado. Avery Elizabeth Hannigan. Amanda Marwan Zaiden. Pia Joe Pierre El Khoury. Kaylee Michelle Walsh. Sarah Mohammed Hamda. Salma Ashraf Abdelrahman. Jessica Elizabeth Gilbert. Rita Grace Baker. Ashley Paige Cohen. Ella Grace Teddy. Aoife Marie Canavan. Stella May Shea. Victoria Alves Primo. Mary Kate McDonough. Miley Ronan Ridge. Erin Christine Murphy. Maggie Elizabeth Doherty. Ariana Marie Furacano. Catherine Rose Martin. Jenna Marie Lutz. Allison Taylor Nell. Olivia Rose Balsamo. Zoe Bryn King. Rachel May Marr. Kelly Jen Huang. Lauren Marsha Pilara. Jolie May Critchley. Reham Marhamo. Kiara Rose Kevel. Yosef Hassan. Jaden Kendrell Harris. Alan Sun. Christopher Scott Fulton. Julia Mary Donahue. Samantha Renee Parks. Nadia Lucero Ramos. Allison Brianna Morrissey. Melissa Victoria Selesky. Kimberly Nicole Selesky. Mohammed Abdullah. Fahad Farouk. Gregory Michael Semino. Erin Elizabeth Buckley. Sophia Chung. Shay Matthew Turpin. Shane Michael Gurley. Jillian Elizabeth Hanrahan. Maya Rose Hanks. John Francis Bognano. Nathan Cadet Astander. Joseph Dominic Danahy. Sean Michael Daly. Catherine Elizabeth Rowell. Mia Catherine Zanaboni. Madison Ann Ballerino. Scott Joseph McMahon. Alyssa Marie Bala. Kaylee Elizabeth Hannigan. Kira Marie Bulger. Samantha Lee Donovan. Joseph Daniel Cody. John Robert Haw. Michael Thomas Fay.
Go Michael! Go Michael, go!
Angelina Vida Franca. Lauren Rose Tutkus. Trevor James McDonald. Caitlin Ann Arsenault. Gavin Jose Perez. Anne Marie Riley. Julia Lynn White. Sydney Martha Adler. Adri Neve Del Vecchio. Mary Kathleen Durant. Nicole Elaine Knobber. Rachel Elizabeth Stano. Cornelius Francis Corcoran. Jordan Avery Neal. Jessica Ann Beal. Sarah Jasmine Moran. Catherine Elena Alberski. Mariana Gomez. Erinda Elena Kono. Samantha Lynn Poe. Casey Hugh New Lamb. Lee T. An Nguyen. Michaela Marie Farrell. Ariana Lee Nuzzo. Brianna Leno. Emily Margaret Mortimer. Kendrick Cordell Garza. Alexis Alice Harris. V. Hong Nguyen. Joanna Y. Lamb. Hong Nguyen. Michelle Myset Young. Shoting Sen. Nolan McColgan Sullivan. Kyle Thomas Roach. Nathan Keith Graffiti. Joseph William Galuzzo. Julia Kathleen Biggins. Sean Patrick O'Riordan. John Michael Fleming. Ashley Carol Anderson. Emily Sims.
Good job, man.
Madalena Marie Hearn. Lauren Elizabeth Malloy. Melanie Grace Crane. Alana Nicole Taylor. Louisa Lowry Sullivan. Caitlin Megan Brattain. Kiara Catherine Kelly. Brandon Patrick Wu. Madison Ariana Craig. Juliet Tara Abedimi Shonai. Molly Maureen McCarthy. Caroline Connolly Grieve. Sarah Evelyn Hamilton. Luis Angel Rivera Jr. Matthew Thomas Mullen. Jonathan Austin Sawyer. Kevin Argyle Zagoro. Michaela Marie Humphreys. Emily Ellen Deagle. Oliver Adam Zaba. Aiden Lee. Tony Jiam Chen. Nathan Panza. Rachel Nicole Carver. Madison Rose Furness.
Go Maddie!
Joseph Peter Graceffa. Jared Thomas Preston. Siddharth Shankar. Jason Lin. Cameron Malloy DiCarlo. Daniel Martin Griffin. Michael William Tierney. Cameron Alexander Mooney. Jason Michael Curley. Paul Richard Joyce Jr. John Peter McDonough. Thomas Peter Saxonis. Clinio Vidal Rodriguez Gomes. Jimmy Chang. Zain Siddiqui. John Joseph Harrington. Christopher Arthur Sarno. Matthew Timothy Hemmert. Michael James Tellier. John Paul Noonan. David John Brown. Ryan Michael Sorgi. Tucker Trey Rodoti. Brian Joseph Macaron. Justin Michael Turpin. William McDonald Paul. Kaylin Sophia Marszakowski. Kristen Marie Roos. Alicia Gail Baroni. Victoria Brooke Hammond. Your Mr. BHS, Justin Christopher Carroll. David James Lasordo. Seamus Christopher Mitchell. Quinn Patrick Lewis. At this time, I would like to invite Sabrina Carnes to the stage to lead the traditional moving of the tassels. Assemblage official administrators, teachers, and guests, I present to you the Braintree High School class of 2020.